Earthquakes are one of the natural phenomena that occur in Earth. Here are some interesting facts about this natural phenomenon. Earthquakes kill about 8,000 people every year and have caused 13 million deaths in the last 4,000 years of human history. Aftershocks occur because the fault line and the crust adapt to the effects of the major earthquake. Large earthquakes can have aftershocks that last for years. It is common that animals of different species have the ability to predict the occurrence of earthquakes before the occurrence of a time may be long or short, and has recorded some incidents of this kind. For example, in the earthquake of the city of Hellas in Greece in ancient times, rats, brides and all the animals of burrows before the earthquake 5 days and fled in the streets of the city. While in the San Francisco earthquake of the 13th century dogs were barking for hours before the earthquake. At the end of the 13th century the dogs went out to the surface and the roads and remained barking, and cats started to scream in the streets. The birds did not enter their sheds and the cattle and horses were destroyed. In the morning, earthquakes are mostly caused by geological events, but can also result from landslides, nuclear tests, mine tests and volcanic activity. More earthquakes occur in the northern hemisphere than in the southern hemisphere. The worst avalanche was caused by an earthquake in Peru in 1970. A 800-meter-long wave of ice, mud and rocks fell on the mountain in Huascaran. It destroyed entire villages and killed more than 18,000 people. The world's worst landslide occurred in 1920 in China's Kansa province. The landslide killed some 200,000 people. The California earthquake of 1906 was one of the first major disasters to be recorded by photography. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a Chinese astronomer named Zhang Heng invented the world's first earthquake detector. Can detect earthquakes remotely 600 kilometers. The greatest earthquake in history occurred in 1201 in the eastern Mediterranean, was described as the worst earthquake in history and claimed the lives of 1 million people. The ancient Greeks believed that the earthquakes were caused by the winds that enter the caves and into the earth. The longest earthquake in history is the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, which lasted about 10 minutes. American scientist Charles Richter invented the Richter scale to measure the strength and intensity of earthquakes in 1935. Earthquakes could release more energy than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. There are often small tremors that precede the major earthquake and aftershocks that may follow after days or weeks. Reinforced concrete and wood are suitable materials for construction in seismic zones, as they are somewhat flexible, but brick buildings are not safe because of their easy disassembly. Aristotle was the first to notice that the soft earth shakes more than the hard ground. Japan is one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world. Thousands of earthquakes occur in Japan every year, but most of them are very weak, hardly feel it. The earthquake 9.0 that hit Japan March 11, 2011 was the worst earthquake in Japan's history. The tsunami was generated by waves up to 10 meters high and severely damaged nuclear power plants. The massive earthquake that hit Japan in 2011 transformed Earth's mass toward the center, causing the planet to rotate faster and shorten the day by 1.6 microseconds. Earth tremor is not the main reason for killing most earthquake victims, but the main killer is building collapses, fires, landslides and tsunamis. Every 30 seconds there is an earthquake happening in one of the regions in the world. Most people who were present in the earthquakes cannot hear the quake, and the actual earthquake, which is less than 20 Hz, is not audible to humans. Geologists cannot accurately predict earthquakes to this day, but they hope to do so in the future through continued research and improved technology. It is said that one of the causes of earthquakes is that the presence of heat in the ground looking for an outlet, and despite the prevalence of the theory is currently wrong. The heat of it was trapped in the subcontinent. We did not need the light of the sun so as not to die the inhabitants of the earth. Some scientists speculate that some human work can lead to earthquakes, such as building dams and storing large amounts of water behind them, which is a great weight on the ground layer of the place. In addition to coal mining and deep mining work, which works to reduce the cohesion of the crust together some. The highest earthquake recorded in Chile in 1960 was 9.5 degree.